What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Renegade Capes on the Renegade Pop Culture Podcast Network. My name is Mike. I'll be your host for this evening. Joining me most always is Brock.
How you doing there, sweetheart? We're going to go talk about some movies. It's going to be great.
And making their Renegade Pop Culture debut, please welcome CJ.
Woo! Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate any time to talk about Batman.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. As you can see by the title, we are talking about The Batman, the, fifth, sixth live action iteration of the Caped Crusader.
It is the 8th.
That's right.
No, wait. If you count the Justice League movies, it's the 10th.
Jesus, there's a lot of them.
Because you had all the Burton and Schumacher films. You had the 3 Dark Knight movies. You had his 2 appearances in Justice League and BVS. So technically, if you count all of them, it's the 10th movie.
Anyway, this movie, directed by Matt Reeves, from a screenplay he co-wrote with Peter Craig, takes place during his second year on his never-ending crusade. So in this movie, he ventures into Gotham City's underworld when a sadistic killer known as the Riddler leaves behind a trail of cryptic clues. As the evidence begins to lead closer to home and the scale of the perpetrator's plans become clear, he must forge new relationships, unmask the culprit, and bring justice to the abuse of power and corruption that has long plagued the metropolis. So before we dive too deep into this, and you have been warned at the bottom, there will be spoilers. I want to get everyone's general impressions. Brock, starting with you, your general thoughts.
It is officially my new favorite Batman movie. I'll just throw it out there. I really liked it. It's one of the things where I've never outright disliked a Batman film that's come out. I have some serious issues with how the latter third of The Dark Knight Rises played out. But like every movie, in my opinion, like they've always had like one thing where it was like you had the physicality in the this of that one, but it was missing the detective work. You had this one where you didn't have the fighting, but it had the this and the that. This one, in my opinion, had a good chunk of all of it that you want out of a Batman movie, in my opinion. I really liked it.
And CJ, your thoughts?
I liked it fine. I went into it very excited just to see a new Batman thing. Even though my mileage with how much Batman I want varies, but that last trailer really got to me, and I was like, okay, let's go. And then I went in, and for the first 2/3 of it, I was like, yeah. This is so much good stuff. And then I started to feel the minutes. I started to feel the minutes. But by the end of it, I was just like, yeah, good Batman thing, good. I have lots to say about it. Some people may not think that I like it after we finish with the conversation, but I want to assure everyone that I do.
Yeah, it's good to be critical of things you like.
Yeah. My sentiments basically echo Brock's. This is the Batman movie that I have wanted pretty much my entire life. For those who don't know, I was born the same year that Batman the Animated Series premiered. Nice. So Batman has been a constant presence throughout my childhood and even really my adulthood. And also, again, like Brock said, every Batman movie, even the bad ones, got at least one element right. Whether it was like the relationship between Bruce and Alfred, his physical prowess, even like to a lesser extent, the relationship between the Rogues Gallery. Mm-hmm. This is the first movie, especially in live action, to get everything about the character right. Whether or not that makes a good movie for everyone is in the eye of the beholder, and we'll get into the details later on. But this is like this movie. There's a reason why it's called The Batman, because at least according to Matt Reeves, this is like the definitive version. So we'll approach this this podcast like an iceberg. We'll start by scratching the surface, and then we'll just keep going deeper.
Can start out with one thing. We have a comment.
Oh, yes. Joshua Tyler says, I like the Rorschach like narrations. That was a nice touch. And yeah, that's literally the first thing you hear is I don't know if most people are aware of this, but usually when you read comics, you get to hear the inner or you get to read the inner monologue of characters in like these square thought bubbles, and that was the first thing that came to my mind when you hear Robert Pattinson's voiceover. Anyone else get that same impression?
Oh, absolutely. It was very much a tone setter, and there's some people where it's just like it's your onomatopoeia, you're describing the situation, sounds, all that going around. But it was very much self-narration. It's like, this is panel work that they're doing, and that's a thing I really liked.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well. I had heard that there was going to be narration, and it gave me the idea that it would have narration gave me like original cut of Blade Runner vibes, and I was like, oh no, that doesn't sound like something that I want. But I was pleasantly surprised with it in the theater. I actually wish that there was a little bit more of it.
I agree.
Than there was.
I agree, because it does kind of feel like it's really just kind of bookends, when we probably should be getting a little bit more if they wanted that to be a consistent element. I can't confirm nor deny Reeves' exact intentions for the voiceover, but as it is, I liked it.
Yeah, when he's like talking to himself, writing in his journals about how the days go and stuff like that, it was kind of inner monologue and stuff like that. That was good. Like, the only times, like, outside the very end of the very beginning of the movie, the very start, they have another one, unless I'm missing it, like right after he had gone to the Iceberg Lounge, they had himself narrating about the nights becoming a haze, and when he's taking the contact out. I'm trying to remember if there's any other ones.
I really only remembered a couple of times at the beginning and then at the end, but I did appreciate it as a framing device. And I also think that it was a good sort of auditory companion to what you were seeing on screen. I really liked the way that they're playing with shadows. At the beginning, the movie got to the point towards the middle where I was having difficulties seeing things, and maybe this is just on me. I've been watching a lot of movies like from before 2005, and everybody tells me that they're like overlit, but I'm just like, are they, or can you just see? I like being able to like tell the geography of where everything is, and I never lost me, but I wanted I wanted the lighting to be just a tad bit more creative, so we could still get the sort of sense of the imposing nature of Batman as sort of like this mythic figure within Gotham City, and how seedy Gotham was supposed to be, but actually be able to sort of like visually appreciate the production design a little bit more. But I think that they really caught a good balance for it right at the beginning, the part where the spray paint can is rolling into that door, all that kind of stuff. Also, the way that the Gotham Square, I guess is what they call their version of Times Square. The way Gotham Square is lit up, I think that was such an interesting visual callback to the Arkham games, which I don't play, but I'm familiar with their visuals. This movie reminded me a lot, content wise, of Aquaman. Bear with me, because Aquaman, which is to date probably my favorite DC movie, like of this
It's
sort
in my
of
top 5.
modern era. But it's so good because it kind of just leaves everything on the table. If you have been a fan of Aquaman at any point in time, from his introduction in the comics to the Super Friends, the Justice League cartoon, to anything you could think of, to the to like his like Baywatch era in the fucking 90s or whatever. Sorry, am I allowed to cuss?
Yeah, it's fine. You're good. You're good. Let her loose.
All of that stuff is being represented in that movie in a way that takes it seriously, but is in no way insecure about how silly it is. And one thing that I love about this movie in comparison to Batman movies since, let's say, 1997, is that this movie is, in my opinion, very silly and completely embraces it in a way that, like, I feel like other Batman things, like Christopher Nolan's trilogy, I hesitate to use the word ashamed. I don't think that they were ashamed of being Batman movies. I think that they felt that they, through their particular approach to Batman and his world, were elevating it in some way, like it needed to be improved. And then when Zack Snyder came along, all of his sort of interpretations of these characters come from a very specific place. They come from specific comics that those comics themselves were very insecure about being comics. And this movie, in my opinion, does none of that. It is completely, it very much wants to be taken seriously. It's very much trying to appeal to the version of Batman that everybody likes today, but in that way. But it is also willing to throw the comic booky shit at you, all the references, all that kind of stuff at you without a hint of irony. It is like, this is this world, you're invited in, catch the wave. And I really enjoy it in that way.
When Brock and I were talking earlier, I described the experience of watching this movie as like reading a 6 to 12 issue trade paperback, because even just in the way it's paced, it felt like it just felt like the comics, not just in terms of superficial elements, but the fact that we have in this movie 3 major villains in the Riddler, Penguin, Catwoman, but we also have Falcone, and they are planting the seeds of like 50 other sequels and spin-offs down the road, which we'll talk about later. Really what Matt Reeves is doing is he's building a universe, but not in like an obvious way, like say the 2017 Mummy film. Everything feels organic, and he makes the world
Forgot
feel
about that movie.
He makes the world feel lived in.
Yeah, he made what he did is he's like, hey, this is stuff that will get mentioned by people that live in Gotham City. And I like that approach to any type of subject. Like, there should be hand-holding on some things that people have never heard about them, but for crying out loud, this is Batman. Like, make these people in this world act like they live in the world. Like, I was talking with Mike earlier, they're like, cool, we're going to the Iceberg Lounge to go find this guy. They didn't take 10 minutes to describe what the Iceberg Lounge was. You just went there.
Literally, as soon as they said the words Iceberg Lounge, I had like a little gap. I was really excited. I was just like, I didn't. Yeah. That's very. It seemed like my perfect Batman thing would be this movie with like the sort of coloring and tones of Birds of Prey, because Batman for me is always very bizarre, like that, in a way that I don't think that this movie is terribly bizarre, but like maybe we'll get there. And it seems like it's always like 2 steps away from like the Penguin having penguins. You know, it is just it seems like it is like just over the horizon. We're gonna get really silly and really crazy and really bizarre, but in a way that is I hate the word grounded as much as I hate the word gritty, but in a way that it has some weight, has some fidelity, and is not so far removed from our world as to seem unfamiliar. And I think that's a really good bridging of the gap between, like, say, if there's like a spectrum between Nolan and Burton. Let's get the camera shot here. There's a spectrum between Nolan and Burton. I would say Reeves is like here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I can agree with that.
He is very much splitting the difference in a way that I find really exciting going forward, because I don't have a lot of superlatives to say about this movie in particular, even though I enjoyed it, but I think things are being teed up for a sequel that is like great.
Yeah, like I told Mike earlier about the thing you said where it's teetering on, where it could get silly. I think the perfect midpoint between staying in this style but kidding kind of in the realm of okay, stupid would be Mad Hatter. Like, where it's like he's a guy who's obsessed with Lewis Carroll, so he's got a guy that looks like the freaking that looks like the man, looks like oh, now all their names are escaping me. The caterpillar that smokes. Either way, like the Cheshire Cat, like all that. He's looking for his Alice. You could have some weirdo that did that, and it would be just dumb enough. But you're like, in this movie, they take no seconds hesitation to just start calling him the Riddler. No one's like, we're really going to call him the Riddler. There was none of those. There was like, no, we're just calling him Riddler because we have nothing else. It wasn't the question mark man. It's no, he's Riddler. I like how it was just, we're going with it.
Yeah, I think overall that's just the approach I've been waiting for. No like overt self-awareness, no like insecurity, just we're doing the thing.
Yeah, and see, we should tell CJ what we've kind of said, because I think it agrees with what he was kind of bringing up. When you were talking about how you were trying to describe the Nolan films, me and Mike kind of are in an agreement that Batman Begins is a Batman movie that is very happy to be a Batman movie. Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises are Christopher Nolan movies that happen to have Batman characters in them.
I would agree.
Okay. It's like, I get what you're going from with that. So
I would agree. Batman Begins is my favorite of those films. And it is and I enjoy The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight Rises has things that I really, really that I find really compelling. But I would rather something like what Reeves is doing here over it any day. I think that I do have a question for y'all. Did y'all? There's this character Dory who is sort of like this housemaid kind of character that lives with Bruce in Alfred in the Manor.
Where'd she come from, kind of thing?
Okay, so I thought they called her Dory, so that kind of shot my hopes down. I thought she was like Aunt Harriet from the Adam West show.
Oh, okay.
But
I wouldn't be surprised if like that was the inspiration, but not like a direct lift from the series.
Because apparently,
Aunt Harriet was in the comics and stuff too. So
yeah. Because apparently that Pete Savage guy is a character directly ripped from an episode of the Adam West TV show, apparently. I've heard that be somewhere. There's apparently a couple of little names for characters that were directly only in the Adam West TV show, supposedly. I have no idea, but...
And see, details like this are why I describe the Batman to people as like a Batman sausage. Like this movie is built on the shoulders of everything that's come before, but it's all wrapped in the casing of Reeves's own unique sensibilities.
I have Yeah, that I hope that it is sort of in reference or sort of like as an homage to the Aunt Harriet character, specifically because I just think the Batman stuff has always been like for decades now has been so deeply like ashamed of Adam West. I mean, Adam West. I'm a big Adam West person. Adam West in the Batman series, they have their fans and stuff like that, very obviously. But like Batman culture at large has always like sort of shunted it off to a corner. And I think that there are certain parts of this movie that definitely live in the spirit of that show, including the car. Love the car. Don't love the chase, but I love the car.
It's the best Batmobile they've ever made, in my opinion.
I would
Any
agree with
Batmobile that isn't a tank, I will take at this point.
I thought it was more intimidating than the tank. If we're gonna be honest, I told Mike I was aroused to the point of being noticeable when the hum of that Batmobile started, and then they kicked the blue flame out of the back of that. I'm like, nope, that just the rest of you lose. That Batmobile is already the coolest thing I've seen. It's been on screen for 2 seconds.
Just so we're on the same page, did we all see this in Dolby?
No, I saw it in my local theater.
I did not.
Okay,
Unfortunately not.
because I saw it both times. I saw it were in the Dolby theater, and this is the way to see the movie.
Yeah, and it like, man, the one thing that I like as far as like set toning, like just one thing that I think this movie does incredibly great is atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And one thing that I love that is just a Batman thing. The rest of this movie takes place in 2020, whatever year they do. But perpetually Gotham will always take place in 1980. Like the town will never be modern day. I always love how that does that. Everything else, they have like I said, the freaking contact scanner he sets on the computer, and then he's going down to the harbor to go to the iceberg lounge. I'm like, that's never going to change. I love that. I love it so much.
I also really appreciate, from a production design wise, how seamlessly they blended the photography from London and the American, the domestic stuff. I thought that there wasn't a point. There are points in like the Nolan films where you're just like, that's Chicago, that's New York, that's wherever. But I like that this Gotham, it has all of those elements. It feels sort of like a real world Gotham, like the stuff that was presented in the Nolan movies. And it doesn't teeter fully into sort of like the Gothic Art Deco stuff of the Burton films, but you do get like hints of it. Like there's a lot of shots of the cemetery. They actually it was like, I guess, one of the first set photos that ever came out from the Batman, but it turned out to be from like the end of the movie. Where they're on the motorcycles and they're sort of like parting ways. But I think that they really seamlessly blended this version of Gotham together in a way that I found compelling and wasn't pointed by. It wasn't sterile, but it also didn't take you out of the proceedings, because I think that if you had sort of like a Burton style Gotham that was so highly stylized, it kind of might have subtracted from the sort of the high wire act that they're doing between sort of the more fantastical elements of Batman that we want to sort of give people a baseline for understanding and accepting, you know, the Batman that people have come to accept at the movies. I think that it's really good in that way.
One thing that I think helped with that a lot in this movie is, unless they were investigating murder scenes, they realistically only went to like 3 or 4 places. You never had a lot of outside shots to show where they're shooting. They were in the Iceberg Lounge, they were in the GCPD, they were at Selina's apartment, or they were at Wayne Tower. Outside of that, you were in a place where you were investigating what the Riddler did, and you almost never saw the actual city. So that helped a lot. Outside of like Gotham Square, you saw that shot a lot, but it was like, no, this is Gotham. You're not going to like see the freaking Statue of Liberty in the background or like something random. It helps a lot with immersion when it's like we're keeping you in this moment. We're not doing wide casting skyscraper shots and like stuff like that. It was this movie only wanted to be about the things it was showing, and I liked that a lot.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
As far as the production design, apparently, and this was probably due to COVID too. This movie used the same stagecraft technology as the Mandalorian. So that must be why the film cost like a very lean $100 million dollars, because they really they were very economic with their location shots.
Yeah. Hey man, you can save some money and do things safely. I kind of begrudge you of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's get into some characters. What did we think of Robert Pattinson's Batman?
I thought he was good. They haven't shown a weirdo shutcase version of, outside of Keaton's at first. They haven't shown the I have bags under my eyes, I never leave my household version of Bruce Wayne. And because like you had Christian Bale, where like he was very okay with being a socialite and acting like he was what Bruce Wayne people think he is, and he was out and stuff like that. I like that they were that he encapsulated the Bruce Wayne that's actively irritated that he has to be Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
I like that a lot. I thought he did good.
Pattinson was great at exactly the type of Bruce Wayne that you'd see who's still kind of figuring out his identity. Like I said, this is only Batman in year 2, so he doesn't know how to be Bruce Wayne yet. Mm-hmm. However, people still expect him to be Bruce Wayne. Hence the remark that Mayor Rael tells him at the funeral, like, so your family was known for philanthropy, but what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. You're just sitting in your house. One thing that he did really good also is voice work. And I didn't notice it, how much that he was really good at like making him not sound like himself until you have the scene where he's in the car when the package is sent to Wayne Tower and you see him in the Batsuit talking normally on the phone. Mm-hmm. It was like, wow, holy crap. Like, yeah, you did very good with making the Bruce Wayne and Batman differentiating voices work, because he overall, I opinion, he did very good at just losing himself into the character, which he's a good actor, which a lot of people don't give him credit for because they didn't decide to see any of the little indie movies that he did.
Oh, and because this is the year 2022, I can officially say it has been 10 fucking years since the end of Twilight. Let it go already.
You want to know who hated Twilight more than anyone? Everyone who was involved with Twilight.
Exactly.
They're with you. They didn't like it either. And if we judged everyone off of one bad performance, well, it's like the people that didn't like Twilight think it should be burned to death and everyone involved with it should be shot and their family should be shunned. Like
it is.
If you didn't like it,
people do go over it.
Yeah.
I don't mind Twilight, and neither does Robert Pattinson, at least anymore. But he cut such an astonishing figure. The stuff where he's like sort of being Bruce Wayne and he doesn't have the mask on, left a lot to be desired, in my opinion. But maybe that's just because I'm sort of so used to like the sort of idea of Bruce Wayne that I'm sort of like, I need to sort of buy more into this version and watch him become whatever. But while he's Batman, he cut such an astonishing figure just because he's so slender. He's so tall and slender. And he also has, I think, the single strongest jawline of anybody who has ever played Batman. Like,
the only one that comes close is Ben Affleck. Mm-hmm. Dude had a pretty big jaw.
Maybe Lowry, the guy who was in the 40 serials. He's from my hometown.
Nice.
But he cuts such a crazy figure in this. I was so astonished at how intimidating they were able to make him with just sort of manipulating sound. The suit, when you like look at it like in a set photo, or like even just sort of like in a medium shot, doesn't look like it's incredibly heavy, especially because he's moving so quickly with it.
Yep.
But the sort of lumbering way that he's introduced when he's like sort of skulking up on those gang members who are like beating people up on the subway, and like those stomps were super effective. Dug the shit out of it. I think that the movie spends so much time with him in the Batman suit in close up, so you just get to see his eyes and see him react. There's a scene in which like he knows that his secret identity is too close to the case at this point, and he can't sort of put that on, and he can only like let us know that with his eyes while he is trying to convince everybody else that everything is cool and leave. Yep. And I think that is fantastic. I think that there is more digging that Pattinson can do with that character. I also enjoyed the voice. Big fan of ASMR Batman or whatever it's called. I think that it is. It strains disbelief sometimes because he'll be talking and someone will be like 3 feet away and like they can hear him perfectly. But I really enjoyed his stiffness. It really reminded me of Mary Elizabeth Winstead's Huntress in Birds of Prey. There is a sort of homeschool quality to both those characters that I find that makes it different from other Batmans that we've seen, but I also find someone endearing because he still doesn't know everything that he's supposed to be doing. It's still sort of flying by the seat of his pants at this point. And I like his interplay with Gordon in this. I think that they have a really like an intensely lived-in camaraderie that didn't need to be explained to you. They were just there, and you bought it, and you were there. It was really good. I think I'm excited to see more of him as Batman.
Can I just say that this might be Jeffrey Wright's best performance, and if not his best, at least his most emotive.
Yeah, he was up there.
Because I don't know about you guys, but I've noticed over like the past like decade, he's kind of been typecast as like this very specific type of character. But here he gets to be a human who just happens to live in like a city that's basically hell on earth.
Yeah.
And his only real comrade is a guy who dresses up like a bat.
Yeah. Small detail about Pattinson that I appreciated, and it probably wasn't Pattinson's call on this, but I believe it's the first live-action Batman that openly acknowledges the fact that he has to put eye makeup on when he puts the cowl on, because when he takes it off and he's sitting in the chair, all that crap is still on his face.
Oh yeah, no, he's definitely the first.
He looks so great in that shot. We've all seen the shot. It was memed to death as soon as the trailer came out. But we've all seen the shot. He looks great. And I want to pivot from performance into looks, because he looks great in that scene, but he never looks that great again. And I get that he's supposed to be like disheveled and not care about that stuff and stuff like that. But I think that when you have someone like Pattinson and muses like Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz, I really wish, and this maybe goes to the fact that we couldn't see much in terms of like brightness of the film at large. They get Jacqueline Duran to do the costumes, and you can't really see the costumes except for Zoe Kravitz in the sort of leather bustier and pants get up. She looked like straight out of Batman Year One. It was like amazing to see. She looks so much like Darwin Cook's Catwoman. It's crazy.
Yes, absolutely. Let's just talk about Catwoman, because I think Zoe Kravitz is probably the most perfect choice to play that character, which I know we're kind of stressing. I know we've been stressing the Nolan films a lot, but I am very frustrated with the fact that Kravitz was originally going to be in, or she was auditioning for The Dark Knight Rises, and she was rejected for being too urban, which is
ridiculous.
Sure.
Yeah.
Zoe Kravitz, daughter of Lisa Bonet and Lenny Kravitz, too urban. All right.
So it just makes me happy that she's even in this movie and just knocks it out of the park.
It's like, no, yes, Selena Kyle, who's known for her high-rise, highfalutin, upper-class personality. We can't have that. We got to go get Anne Hathaway. I'm like, and I didn't hate Anne Hathaway, but I'm like,
I actually genuinely love Anne Hathaway in that
I know.
movie.
I thought
She's like the best part of that movie.
She was great, and they even had the freaking cat ears when she put her goggles up. I'm like, that was a nice
Oh,
touch.
she was like, that's like Julie Newmar. I was like, yes.
But yeah, I thought it was great.
We have a late student coming to class. Henry, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Sorry I'm late, Professor. I was caught up in LA traffic. I'm not even kidding about that.
All good. We completely understand.
It is like fucking vicious. Like, dude, like there, it's like I'm from Washington. Like the traffic's bad there, but dude, if you like cut somebody off like in LA, they will get out of your car and say, "What the fuck is it?" It was so funny. It was like really funny. And the guy was like in his this plaid stuff. There was like in his this tank top. It's like, what the fuck? I was like, get away from me. But anyway, I'm sorry I'm late. I feel really shitty about it, and here I am. And
no worries, man.
I'm guessing you guys are into the spoiler stuff. You know?
Not really. We're just kind of discussing characters.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
First of all, just before we continue where we left off, your general impressions of the Batman?
I really like the Batman. I love the movie. It's probably my favorite DC movie in a long while. And again, I'm more of a Marvel guy, but I have liked some of the more recent DC films a lot more. Again, I'm a fan of both, y'all. You know, I don't want to be I don't want to be targeted by DC fans saying, "Oh, you Marvel shill." You're just taking that Feige check. But other than that, yeah, the movie was great. I loved it. It was fantastic. Robert Pattinson, fantastic. Probably my favorite Batman. Colin Farrell as the Penguin, spot on. Basically, my uncle. Hey, take it easy there, Bucko.
Why are you doing this, sweetheart?
Yeah,
So we were talking about Catwoman and how pretty much she was born to play this character.
Oh yeah.
What'd you think of her?
She was really good. She was awesome. She wasn't my favorite, but she was pretty damn solid. And you know what? Some people are gonna say, "Oh man, does that mean you hate her?" It's like, no, I thought she was great. I just wanted to see more of her in the movie, just a little bit more. I know she's in a lot of the movie, but I would love to see an HBO Max spinoff of her in the Hellraiser thing. You see?
Yes.
I got bad G's on my side here. Yes.
I would kill
In a video game, not in real life.
for a
want to get monetized.
Catwoman spinoff.
I wouldn't doubt it's coming either.
We'll get to that a little later, because at the end of this show, I have 5 things that I want to see in just the general Batman future. Not necessarily one sequel, but spin-offs too. But yeah, Catwoman is great. I love both the sexual chemistry and just the regular chemistry between her and Pattinson. I thought they played off each other well. It's obviously this is like before Bruce brings on like an actual Robin, but it's kind of fun seeing him.
Do you know who I want as like a Robin though? You ready for it, guys? Some DC fans are gonna hate me for this. I want a Tom Holland Robin with a Robert Pattinson band. That'd be like so like funny to me.
He's so old.
He's like 12, you know.
He's so old, Tom Holland. No, I think that they work very well together, Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz. I do think that all of these various and sundry magazine covers that they are appearing on together are selling a movie that is not the movie that we get.
I agree.
And
that's most movies, for being
honest. Are you trying to tell me that there's not some steamy sex pot side story where they just break that table that's in the middle of Wayne
Sir, I'm
Manor?
going to have to ask you to leave the theater. You're really disturbing the kids.
I think in Batman Returns is an incredibly horny movie. And and it is so one-sided, at least when he's Batman. Catwoman is very aggressive in that way, and he is kind of just sort of like sitting there being sort of
to
just
be honest, a lot of those movies were horny
it's a rich white dude in a bat suit. I'm pretty sure like he can get sex whatever he wants. I feel like, you know, I don't know.
I wish that this movie would let her like be that a little more. I understand that there is that there may be some sort of objection to that at this point, but I also think that the movie was kind of missing an overwhelming sort of sexual aura in the way that I think the visual language, the stuff on screen was trying to tell me it was there. But I think that there was a bit of a disconnect between Pattinson's portrayal of Batman and the Selena Kyle character. Not to say that they didn't work at all. I would like to see more of them together. I would just like to see that fleshed out a little bit more. Maybe when
remember, guys, he's not allowed to have sex. Batman wouldn't go down on a woman. Heroes don't do that. Remember?
I think there's a larger conversation.
Yes, he has to ask for consent or no zero. He's a responsible adult who pays his taxes. Not really.
He's a billionaire.
Jumping off what CJ said, I think there's a larger conversation to be had about movies in general, lacking that sort of horniness, to put it one way.
And maybe we grew up at a really interesting time, because when we were younger, movies were incredibly horny. All of them.
Batman Forever was incredibly horny also. Do we not remember the multiple times that she just showed up in a negligee on the like banister going, I don't want to have sex with you. Now I want to have sex with Batman. But wait, I might want to have sex with Batman and not you.
I just think that Batman means a lot of things to a lot of different people. He's a power fantasy. He is propaganda to some people. He is a representation of sort of like, I don't know, the benevolent rich in some ways. He is the guy that would always be there. He's a sexual object to some people. And I think that as much as we're talking,
you're breaking up, by the way.
As much as we're talking, oh, I'm so sorry. Can everyone hear me?
No, you're good.
It's all right. It's just
like,
going every now and then.
That happened to me one time before, where I was like having like this very important monologue, and it just like cut off, and so like, I had to like say, "Fuck!" I can like channel that energy again.
No, I just when we talk about how this movie has like a little piece of everything with Batman, I think that is also an important piece, and I hope that going forward they utilize that a little bit more.
I think that's why they gave her a good shine in this one. and then they're like, I'm not moving across the country, I'm just moving up north.
Yeah.
I think there's a good reason for why they're like, we got Zoe Kravitz. We're not going to have any less of Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. She's going to be coming back.
Gotta milk them actor contracts.
So since we're talking about spoilers, I'll bring up this next character. John Turturro secretly gives one of the best performances playing Carmine Falcone in a way that's literally ripped from the pages of The Long Halloween. Even down to like, albeit in expository fashion, describing to Bruce during the funeral scene, the scene where he shows up at Wayne Manor, in need of like emergency surgery, trying to get a bullet wound out. He can't go to the hospital, so he turns to. I assume before that they had some sort of relationship, but like the point of the story is to tell his son that like Thomas Wayne saved his life. And I think Turturro did such a great job, and kind of playing against type, giving such like a menacing performance as this character.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
I disagree.
Actually, can I just say one thing? As one of the rare fans of John Turturro in the Transformers movies, I know you can hate me all you want, all right, but I feel like this was actually like probably his like most nuanced performance. I mean, again, nothing's gonna top that like scene where like John Turturro gets pissed on by Bumblebee. That's like a career highlight. Nothing can replace that. But anyway, getting back to the main point. Yeah, but I kind of agree that he did a pretty good job as the Falcone thing. He doesn't have a huge role, but he has an integral role, and I feel like he plays it up pretty well. Anyway, Bat, you can rip me apart here. No problem.
I'm not gonna rip you apart. I just did not find him entirely compelling or even that scary. He kind of comes off as a non-factor, and there's a big reveal about him towards the end of the film that I know because I know Batman comics to some degree. And so it wasn't really, I was just like, oh, okay, sure. And then like that happened, and then like it became like this whole like thing towards the end of the movie that to me felt like filler. I did not find him terribly compelling at all. And in Batman Begins, like goes down to the docks and he's talking to that gangster in the club. Is that also a version of Falcone?
I believe
yeah,
it's a Falcone. I don't remember exactly if it's Carmine, but it's the head of Falcone crime family.
Yeah. Okay.
I know for a fact that Carmine is in Batman Begins. I just can't remember that exact scene.
Yeah, I think that I couldn't remember if that was Carmine Falcone or if that was Sal Maroni. But that when he goes down, in Batman Begins, when he goes down to the docks and he is talking to them, he goes in there all tough and stuff like that, and like Sal Maroni just hands him his papers and like kicks him the fuck out of the club and stuff like that. That to me is very affecting. That was scary. There is an overall presence that was brought from the top down, from the directing, from the performance and everything. And I do not think that John Turturro is a bad actor. I don't even necessarily think that he was bad in this movie. I just do not think that he or this particular subplot were set up for success in a way that I think that they should have been.
Yeah. Hey, Bad G, is that what your username is? Bad
No,
G?
my name is CJ. That's just festive.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't want to like offend anybody. I promise. I didn't want to be rude or anything. But what are your thoughts of the movie? And I know you probably spewed them out already, but did you like the movie?
Yeah, I liked the movie quite a bit. There are just certain things, and really only three things that I would say that I was disappointed by, and it just so happens that Carmine Falcone was one of them.
Nah, no worries. It's all good. You know, as we all know, film discourse is a respectable trade that everybody, like, whether opinion, can have a respectfully disagree. Not really, but, you know, we like to say that because, hey, you know.
Yeah.
Brock,
yeah.
your thoughts on Falcone?
It's my favorite performance Turturro's done. I like that it was kind of reserved, that like stuff has happened that you're not aware of, and it's kind of one of those things where, in my opinion, at least to me, where it was like another thing where they didn't go out of their way to over explain something. It's like you're watching a Batman movie and that's Carmine Falcone. He's a dangerous dude. I don't need to whatever. It's just that you need to get through 6 guys to go to talk to him. That, to me, I thought was pulled off very well. Like I said, everyone's got their different opinions on different stuff like that. So for me, I thought it worked really well. I was very happy. I am one of those people that is a giant fan of John Turturro and is finally happy that he is not being pissed on by Bumblebee. Sorry to tell you.
Oh,
But
God, screw you.
I was very
How
happy.
dare you, sir?
Yes, I know.
Hey.
It'll be stricken from the reason that the original Transformers got an Oscar. I'm sorry. There was just that one scene. They overlooked it. But yeah, that was like, they were casting this movie and I'm like, okay, Jeffrey Wright, Pattinson. I'm like, I'm not going to write him off. I'm give him a chance at anything. Do that. Zoe Kravitz is Catwoman. I'm like, absolutely nailed it. Colin Farrell. I'm like, he's going to be the Penguin. I love Colin Farrell, but wait, hold on. Okay, he looks incredibly like Rupert Kind.
He kind of looks like Scott Mendelson to me.
And like, but like, they just like they through the cosmetic. I think he's my favorite character in the entire movie. I'm like, cool, not okay with that. And then Turturro comes up, and I went, "That's Carmine Falcone." Like, okay, I'll go with it. I trust Matt Reeves. I like him as a filmmaker. And then, like Mike brought up, I'm like, there are some things where he looks identical to how Carmine's supposed to be. So it was good. And then about the reveal thing, I get both sides of the perspective on that, because I went to a theater my first time watching it with 3 people that know that Batman is a DC comic book character and basically the things that I have told them. And so when that reveal comes up, to a good chunk of the populace that aren't well informed, read a good amount of comic book fans, even in comics, that's one of the ones where it's not always that, and it's hinted at in like When in Rome and like The Long Halloween and some other things. So when that came up, I had my friends look at me and I'm like, yeah, they don't always go with that, but that's cool. And then like with the other one where they just basically took the rule book and flung it clean out the freaking window at the end of the movie with another family's relation, I was like, nice. You're creating familial ties with some other things, and you're going to come up with a reason for why Catwoman doesn't kill him later, because Batman's going to tell her that she can't kill him later because she has to have a reason why she wants to kill him later. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. I got exactly where that was going. So it was great. And just like just him talking to Bruce about him saving him. And he's like, I remember you were sitting right at the top of the steps. I don't forget your face. And he goes, Hippocratic oath. And he just walks away and he thinks it's hilarious. He's just like, no, he was going to do that or I was going to kill him. And it's just there. I thought it was really good. Yeah. I liked it. And I would like to see more stuff like that from him. Yeah, I liked it a lot. I don't think there's a bad cast in the movie.
I'm sorry. I didn't even
No, you're good. I'm done. You're good.
Brock there. I got to say, out of all the Batman, Robert Pattinson is probably my favorite of the Batman, because I feel like why I can really connect to the other Batman is that they were kind of like a 40s style type of man thing, which I know is in the comics, but I never really related to that. But this one felt more human, more in the modern age. And I feel like Pattinson really nailed that spectacularly. And that's why I know it's going to be like, it's going to go over some people's heads, and that's totally fine. But, you know, that's what I loved about him. He's sort of this loner. Doesn't have it all together. And even though he's like this rich guy, he still like wears like a shaggy t-shirt and, you know, things there. So if I have to cosplay, I just have to like overgrow my hair, dye it brown, and just get like a hoodie, and there's my Bruce Wayne, you know. Maybe get some dark makeup right there.
Yep. That's what I was telling them. I love that they finally acknowledged that Batman wears eye makeup when he has the cowl on. It's like,
God, dude. So much mascara. It's like he's going to the drugstore. It's like, why do you have all this mascara, Mr. Wayne? For drugs.
Reasons.
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
My OnlyBats account.
God. Yeah.
There's another relationship we haven't really talked about, and that's the relationship between Bruce and Alfred, played pretty brilliantly by Andy Serkis.
Loved it.
And he's playing a little bit more of like the Earth One version, where he's a little bit more. He's a bit more of a hardened individual. He's not like the prim and proper butler.
Like that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thought it was good.
Yeah, I liked him too. He was fantastic. He was awesome. You know, it was really good.
Some might say like they didn't have quite enough scenes together, but that's because we really didn't get a whole lot of Bruce Wayne. We got more Batman,
which I was happy with.
But at least like he was like hands on in like helping Bruce solve.
I did enjoy that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was nice. I have no strong feelings about Andy Serkis as Alfred. I did not dislike anything that he was doing. I didn't. I wouldn't say I absolutely loved it, but I think that the big emotional beats that he and Bruce have towards the end of the movie would have hit more if that was the sort of like mask off focus of the third act. I think that, forgive me for going back, but I think that the Carmine Falcone and Selena stuff
a little forced.
Not that it felt forced. Well, it did, but it just, I think you could have taken either one of those things. And then one that would have tightened the movie up. It would have helped, again, those emotional beats between Bruce and Alfred land harder. I don't, and you didn't have to split the difference on father stuff between Selena and Bruce this time.
I hear what you're saying.
I somewhat agree, but on a related note, you know what this movie could have used? This movie could have used some badass Green Day. You know, when he's like going down that road, he should have like been playing Boulevard of Broken Dreams. It would have been perfect. I mean, come on, nobody. Am I going to die on that hill alone?
Yeah, I think you kind of are. I think you're in a different area code on that hill, good sir.
Yeah, I'm just getting shot down on that hill.
I think that they know that they only got one needle drop, and that was under the bridge. And they were like, and we can't, we only get that once, so we're gonna use it twice. And then
to their credit, it was a great needle drop, and I have to imagine that Michael Giacchino was listening to that song a lot when writing the main theme.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah. So the question is, what for the sequel? What's the next early to mid '90s sort of like drop that they're gonna use?
Well, if they have Robin, they could put Teen Spirit.
Now, what was like Backstreet Boys, you know?
I was gonna put my money down on Groove Is in the Heart.
My money's on the Backstreet Boys, y'all.
Hey man, I'd be okay with Electric Avenue if we're gonna putty up good options here. I'm just saying, I'll get my Osmosis Jones kick in there.
No, but
that's an actual movie.
It is. Yep.
It is.
Starring Chris Rock and Brandy.
Brandy isn't.
Bill Murray.
Stunt double. You see what I remember of it.
Bill Murray stunt double.
I would be interested in seeing Alfred, the Alfred stuff fleshed out. I will give them the credit of, I kind of thought that they just murked Alfred
So did I at first. I was gonna be so
Same.
pissed.
Like I
was like, come on, it's Dory's time.
the first time I saw this movie, I genuinely breathed a sigh of relief when the nurse told Bruce, like, he's like, we've sedated him, so like, obviously they're not going to kill Alfred, but it felt like that was what they were doing when the bomb went off. Speaking of bombs, I forgot to mention a supporting player, Peter Sarsgaard, as the corrupt DA. This is what I was talking about earlier when I said,
Did you make a cameo in the movie? I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, that is Peter.
Yep.
What I was saying earlier is that, like,
He's in a fat suit.
this movie is so well cast that, like, even people with like bit roles like went in like 110%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, even the Carver twins.
The Carver twins.
The Penguin's bodyguards.
That was one of my favorite ongoing jokes in the whole movie. Every time, just shut the door. You get a load of this guy. Every time it hit. Every time, I love it.
It was really good, and it felt comic booky without having to be in your face comic booky.
Exactly.
I like that, and I'm just a big fan of those guys. I'm glad to see them anywhere. I've been a fan of them since Desperate Housewives.
Do they always play, like, do they always play twins together, or have they done like separate projects?
They've done separate projects, mostly Charlie, because he is oft cast in things where a gay ginger is needed. But the
Wait, what? Wait.
That's funny.
I was
Such a specific part role. He's a gay ginger. I love it.
He was in he was just in The Boys in the Band, I think. On Netflix.
Oh, okay.
A couple years ago. So yeah. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed that. It reminded me of like all kinds of like gimmicky henchmen that Batman villains have all the time.
Yep.
So yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
But yeah, the now that I think about it, there's just a lot in the funeral scene that I really enjoy, even just down to down to the way that Bruce is like really paying attention to the son of the mayor who was killed, and like the way he kind of gets into Batman mode when the car just like rams into the altar.
Mm-hmm.
All of that is great. Plus, I think this is like the first time that Batman and the Riddler, not like, I don't want to say they meet each other, but
In the same location.
Yeah.
That they were aware of, depending on where he sat for most of that movie.
True.
Yeah. I mean, that shot of him on the balcony with everyone running away, and it's just him until we sort of have to cut to do things. I thought it was really fantastic. I really love that Batman movies are no longer. I love that, not no longer. I love that they never feel the need to justify why Batman is in situations that Batman would never be in real life. In police interrogation rooms, and it's just like because it always warms my Adam West heart, because like on that show, the police were just like, this seems hard. Better get Batman, and like they. And that is basically the case in all of these movies. And that's basically the case in all of these movies. But and like they do a little posturing. They're just like, "Oh, this guy's a vigilante. What's he doing here?" But you know that no one's going.
There's no one's gonna do anything. Like, and they even discuss that, like when all of a sudden they wake him up, and it's one of my favorite lines in the whole movie when he gets woken up after the bomb goes off. and he's out cold, and one of the guys is being dumb and tries to grab the ear on the cowl, and he knocks back 3 officers. I just got you for assaulting an officer. No, you got me for assaulting 3. He's ready to just go off. He's like, I hate the situation that I'm in. I'm trying to help Gordon. What do you need me for? He's open to be there, but he doesn't want to be there.
And
There
that's
you
a
go.
classic
Type
thing
of
too.
situations.
People trying to take
Yeah.
off his mask. I really love that. In the
Yeah.
same, I keep saying that it reminded me of another DC thing. It reminded me of another DC thing. It reminded me. It's one of those classic things. There's always someone like in an animated show or in a comic book, or Batman's knocked out in public and someone's trying to take off his mask, and it is just like a part of the character's like history and legacy. Like, in Wonder Woman, where she has ice cream for the first time.
Yeah.
Every reboot of Wonder Woman in the comics, a new version of her being introduced in some animated thing. She has to be introduced to ice cream for the first time, and I love that.
It's like when Martian Manhunter
It's Oreos.
his affection for Oreos.
Yeah.
Wait, that's
I
a
wish
real thing?
I wish Batman.
Yeah,
had
that's a
favorite
very real
snack.
thing.
Wow.
He is obsessed with Oreos.
I wish
That is
Batman had a
really-
favorite snack.
I'm
Every
not even gonna
character
comment
needs a
on
favorite
that.
snack.
He's like holding his arms like there. It's like, wait, you better watch what you say there, buddy boy. I'm gonna boot you off this podcast.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, if they ever...
It would just be really funny if, like, every time it would be really well. There's
He's like snorting in the
Batman.
bathroom.
Yeah.
There's Batman Wayne Family Adventures, which is this really fun slice of life webcomic that's on Webtoon. That's officially licensed by DC and everything like that. They make him very fond of chocolate chip cookies, and that I would be down for that. But it would also be funny if, like, every if we just have to have Batman rebooted all the time, in perpetuity. Every new one, he was just like, they just like make him addicted to root beer barrels or something.
Yeah.
They do have something like that.
Speaking of the DC universe, there, you know what I would kind of want? This is gonna appear. Here's another hot take. Everybody, clear the runaway. It's gonna be a super steaming hot take.
Loins girded.
Okay. I kind of feel like this movie kind of made the DCEU kind of obsolete. Like after this movie, the only world I kind of care about is honestly like the Batman. Like, I mean, I'm gonna go see Black Adam, The Flash, Aquaman, but if I'm being honest, I kind of want to see the Batman version of Superman or Wonder Woman, which I know we'll never do, and I respect that, but I'm just like, oh man, just
Actually, what I'm thinking is, I'm not sure what the opening weekend numbers are going to be.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling that A, this movie's going to be a success, and B,
no kidding.
Well, yeah, and B, Warner Brothers is going to look at this, the success of this movie, and be like, "This is our DC universe now." Like I know that Matt Reeves wants to keep things very Batman centric, but maybe what he meant, like, during those initial interviews, is that he just wants to distance himself from what's come before. Because he said in a recent interview, the reason he'll never do a Marvel movie is because
they're already set.
He said like, you know, as much as I love Kevin Feige and like what they do over there, I need the space to like create my own world.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean other people can't build off of his creation. It's just he wants to be like the chef in the kitchen.
Yeah, you know, I gotta say that was kind of nice of like Matt Reeves to kind of like have a respectful comment about super movies. Like when you like see like one guy, it's like, yeah, he's got these fucking good superhero movies. They're all shit and garbage, and you have like Francis Ford Coppola, God, dude, and No Time to Die, and they're all the same. It's just like, damn, just yikes. But it was kind of nice, you know, like Matt Reeves, like, oh, you know, I like them, but you know, I'm gonna do my own thing. It's just like really. It's kind of refreshing to hear, right? Nothing too disrespectful, but you know, kind of like this. You know what I mean? Is anybody else kind of feeling that?
Well, no, I like that feeling, but I'm also just sick and tired of every time someone's going, "Oh, I can interview that director." Oh, I bet they'd be pissed if I brought up comic book movies.
Yeah,
Yeah!
that's the thing. It's just like
Like, why do we need to ask
Just-
them? It's not a part of the movie. Just shut up. They don't like it, and you know it.
that just talk about the dog. Like, so yeah, that I completely and totally understand that. That is my one sort of like thing. No, I that is my one sort of qualm with people who like just ask random indie directors or like the woman who directed Power of the Dog. Like, what do you think she's gonna say?
That's pretty funny.
Like it's just let her talk about the power of the dog. That's why you're interviewing.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
a form of
God.
disrespect when you're just trying to get a question out of her. You don't give two shits about what this person's doing. You want to get a statement out of them so your website gets clicks. You're an asshole.
No shit, Sherlock.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
You're figuring that out.
I hate it. No, I know that. It's just that no one will openly admit that's what they're doing. They're just like, I'm just asking questions.
I love Brandon, but he's part of the problem.
Speaking of assholes, let's talk about the Riddler.
Yeah. The incel Riddler. I liked him. He was pretty funny.
Scary to the point, like downright horrifying until he took his mask off.
Then-
And
then he became the Riddler.
not just because, well, he didn't really become the Riddler. He just
Yeah.
became like this like weirdo. And like the Riddler is also a weirdo, but they didn't really read to me as the Riddler. And I don't think like him in the costume read to me as the Riddler either, but he was frightening at times, especially during that prologue at the mayor's apartment or whatever. I think that was very, very scary. That was a perfect way to introduce whatever this character is. The reason that I say he was scary and stuff up until the mask came off is that the point of the plan even started to kind of unravel when they finally got him and he was like in custody and stuff like that. I just wasn't feeling it when we got to really dig deep into the character without all of the sort of like different directorial choices that were being used and sort of the horror style production of him and the way he was speaking and stuff like that. It just became crazy and like in a certain way. And that's just me. Again, I'm here to say I liked it, but I had problems. Everyone else got
All right, fair enough, dude. It's all good, man. You don't have to like you don't have to put yourself down. It's all good.
I ain't gonna bite your head off. It's all good.
I think you do actually bring up a solid point in that at the end of the day, what exactly is the Riddler trying to accomplish other than essentially clearing the board of corruption?
Honestly, I would love to ask that questions, but after like 6 years of like crazy weirdos doing like crazy dumb shit in the real world for no particular reason, I kind of thought it was like kind of like a refreshing thing. There wasn't like an elaborate plan. It was just this messy, kind of all over the place thing where it didn't have a clear goal. He just said, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna like destroy everything because you're all corrupt and stupid." You know, it's gonna do it.
My problem with that is that that's not the Riddler.
Yeah, okay.
This is going to be a weird
So
comparison,
the Riddler's
but
not a real person. Just kidding.
To some extent, and I only got this impression the second time I saw the movie that the Riddler in this movie reminds me like a little bit of Killmonger, just in the sense that like he doesn't have necessarily a bad point in what he's trying to do, but
the way he's going about it.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah, and like I got the point of where, in my opinion, what it was, and I can get like I very much liked him as the Riddler, and I read him as the Riddler. There was some points where he like what his end all goal, in my opinion, I kind of can see where it like kind of leads off, because that's never a thing the Riddler's gone for before as a big end goal. It's always been to just be smarter than Batman for a large portion of it. But like what it basically was they added the extra, they added the thing with being an orphan and stuff like that. And it basically like, just because of his upbringing, that basically anyone who's given a position of power in politics is corrupt, period. And he was just trying to instill that in as many people as possible, is what I just kind of got out of it. And I get to a degree that kind of goes where they're trying to assassinate the person who was trying to get rid of the renewal program that the Riddler hated, where it was like those people sometimes, and it's kind of something that I liked. It read in my head. They were doing something that they thought the Riddler wanted them to do, when in reality, she was trying to fix something the Riddler didn't like. But also in reality, in that same situation, the Batman was also incentivizing these people to do what they wanted. So he was setting an example that he also didn't like. There was a lot of people setting examples in ways that they didn't mean completely. One was willing to change it, and one just after a while got lost in his own shit. To me, anyway, that's how I look at it. And
I can see that. I want to elaborate on when I said it's not Riddler, because I don't like it. When
I get what you mean,
not the
though.
thing. But it's
I get what you mean.
I like the comic.
It's not really that. I think sort of like the point, and I think that there's been a lot of people who actually don't like the movie who sort of have been attributing a lot of the stuff that the Riddler does in this movie to the Joker. And I can see where they're coming from, but that's not how I read it. I see where they're coming from because the Riddler and his plan, the way it develops, it sort of makes him out to be a chaos agent, because the only recognizable outcome to what he's doing is chaos. But that to me doesn't really read to me like the Riddler, like you said, because the Riddler's thing is about outsmarting Batman. And they have a little bit of that in here, but it seems like an afterthought. He doesn't really seem to be trying to outsmart Batman. He seems to think that he and Batman are of a piece somehow. And I like that. I don't think that character needed to be the Riddler.
Let me ask you this: do you think the Riddler's plan was too big?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, that's
something
I can concede to.
And to me, it didn't read beat for beat, obviously, but it read to me more like Hush than the Riddler. Especially when so much of the plan, or at least what the movie showed us of the plan, became about Bruce.
All right, I see what you're saying, and we will get to the Wayne stuff in a little bit.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts about the Riddler before we move on to?
No, that's pretty much it for me.
One thing I will add that we did not say enough of, that I thought, again, when you mentioned the scene when he's in the house at the first part, man, just that scene where he walks away and the Riddler is just motionless, watching him in the house. Just like, okay, that is creepy as shit. No
Wonderful.
noise, just the hum of the TV. I was like, whoo, that was nice. That was great.
Very nice.
Very, very nice. But yeah, no, I'm good.
Something that was alluded to earlier were some of the action scenes, and I think the biggest one that CJ and I will disagree on is the car chase, because I think that's one of my favorite scenes in the film. But I have to ask, what about it didn't work? Because it's probably the reason why I love it.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm a bit of a car chase connoisseur. I'm a big car chase person. I do not drive. I got into a really bad car accident about 6 years ago. Flipped my car, hydroplaned, flipped my car on a highway, shoot. And I never paid attention to car chases before then. But like being in the results of like car chase or whatever made me be able to like appreciate them a lot more, and what film can do to accentuate the heightened emotions and the real palpable sense of danger that you incur every
I
time
think I
you
know
get
what you're
behind
gonna.
the
I
wheel.
think I know what you're gonna have a
Like
giant
TJ
issue with
with
before it's coming up.
So that's not that, and I think I know what you think,
TJ
and
the
it's
car
not that.
man.
Okay, all right, okay. Go ahead. Okay.
I've seen plenty of films where cars flip. That's not where the PTSD comes from. But
Okay, got it.
the thing about the car chase is that so much of it is told in these very extreme close-ups between the Penguin and the Riddler, and those close-ups, both of them serve a different purpose. They are the close-ups on Batman are supposed to give you an in to Batman's psyche in that moment, and his anger and all that rage that's coming from him, and you can see it in his eyes. A lot of this movie has to do with a lot of Robert Pattinson's performance as Batman comes from his eyes and the way he's clenching his jaw. That's why it's so good that he has such a cut jaw, because he visually it sort of paints that picture for him. And I think that the Penguin close-ups are supposed to just represent all that fear, and supposed to give you this idea of Batman as this imposing mythical figure. Yeah, he's just a dude in a bat suit in a car, but it's almost from Penguin's perspective, it's almost like a force of God coming after him. I really enjoy those two approaches. I don't necessarily think that they're as effective as the movie wants you to think that they are, or as other people are saying that they are. And I also think that the problem is that you have both of them. I think you could have told the car chase completely impersonally from the perspective of Batman, and
Honestly,
completely
I'm gonna have to interject here.
in the car with Penguin. Oh, okay, go ahead.
You froze. You froze there. But anyway, I gotta
sorry.
disagree. After going through the grim, stale thing of the Dark Knight Rises of Christopher Nolan, and like the really grimy, kind of like ugly looking of the Zack Snyder. I kind of loved Matt Reeves' sort of like slicker like Batmobile like car chase. It was like really good to me. I really loved it there, and also it actually kind of looked like a car, not like a fucking tank. Like
Yeah, my
like-
problem is not with the car. Well, literally, I earlier I said that any Batmobile that's not a tank is a Batmobile for me.
Same.
the Bat tank.
My biggest problem with it was not the fact that the chase was there. I think the movie really needed that release, and I think for the most part, the movie got that release from the chase, even if the chase didn't work for me the entire way through. There were just a really good car chase. Is like a really good action sequence. You are completely aware of all of the geography of all of the action that is happening, but I think a lot of that gets disrupted by the need for it to be told at least halfway in these really extreme close-up shots. And I don't even mind the idea of the close-up shots. I just wish they were of the Penguin, because it would have made the idea of Batman in the Batmobile as this force of nature a lot more intimidating, a lot more frightening if it was told from that point of view. And then the first time you see him after the car chase, after the chase and after the crash, is from the Penguin's point of view in that amazing upside down shot.
I like that. I like that a lot.
So that's the only. I think I loved all of the ideas. I just don't think the execution was the best.
There you go.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. Okay, but AJ, before we get not AJ, sorry. Like I have a friend that's named AJ and he's super annoying. But anyway, Captain K, I need to ask you something. Going back to this whole new DC thing, do you really think that they'll maybe replace this Batverse with like the DC, or like the DC replace the Batverse thing? Because man, I don't know about you, but I'm getting really tired of like headless Henry Cavill You know, I'm kind of over it. You know.
I don't know. I don't know specifically what they'll do with Superman, but I think let's hold off on that question till
I'm
after
sorry.
this year.
Oh yeah.
After Flashpoint, then
Ugh.
we'll see where we're at.
CJ's most anticipated movie of the year.
I'm excited
Oh,
about that
dang it.
movie. I think that the that one shot from did they play the
I
little
actually
DC We Could
Yeah,
Be Heroes
I
trailer?
got the DC Heroes trailer.
Okay,
yeah.
yeah, I think that one shot of Ezra Miller in close up in that thing is just beautiful. I'm very excited for that movie. I think it's
Yeah,
going to
I
be
actually know
gorgeous.
people that actually worked on that movie. Actually, you know, I'm friends with a lot of people that work on Marvel stuff and DC stuff, and I know a fair amount of the movie. You know, I'm not gonna say it here. I promise. I don't want to get shot down by like the DC snipers. You know,
Oh dear.
you see the Marvel guy. They get you in an alleyway. They put a paper bag over your head. And they drive you out to some location. They just drop you off, and you know, say, "Where am I?" And it's like, I don't know. But the DC guys, you just go right for the kill. Not really, just kidding. Anyway, but yeah, that was a bad tangent. I'm sorry, everybody. Sorry to witness
Okay.
that. But
That's
yeah,
fine.
I'm very interested to hear what you guys thought of the car chase.
I liked it. I did very much like the idea of. I really actually really do like what your suggestion was. And if it would have been in the two, I wish it would have been completely on the Penguin, because then it would have seemed like him just being scared the whole time. But I told Mike earlier, and a little bit to you, CJ, as well, that my erection was noticeable from space when the hum of that Batmobile started. And I just like in an instant
what is
that
the
was
physics of that exactly?
the physics of that exactly. It was that I have to pay for my local theater's roof, but
There's like a little hole in the top of the roof.
but yeah, it's just that was the one thing when I saw the Batmobile, I was like, man, that's either going to be not great or the coolest thing, and it's going to judge your first scene with it is what's going to do it. It's a lot of time with Batmobiles when you the ignition sequence for the Batmobile for me is a big thing. When you see that thing starting up and ready to roll is a very big deal for me. And before they even going and you just hear the hum of that engine starting to kick and the blue flame comes out the back of it, I'm like, okay, that's the best Batmobile they've ever made. Like it immediately looked like a demon on wheels. I'm just like,
Yep.
yeah, thank you. That thing's great. And it's one thing that I kind of appreciate about this Batman. Like he makes things that are needed for the situation. Like he didn't need to have the Batmobile have 16 fins coming off of it and all this stuff. He needed a car that was badass.
Giant machine guns on the front of the thing just to like murder criminals with.
No, I'm good. And just it needed to be tough, fast, and maneuverable. And that's exactly what that thing was. And it was perfect. And as far as the scene goes, the only thing that I didn't like about that chase scene is that I saw the end of it in a trailer.
Yeah. I think.
But you have to think like a marketer at that point.
I know.
Like, how do
I
you
understand
not include that?
1,000% why they did it, because it's one of the coolest shots of the whole movie. But man, it still felt so great. Like just that visual of him coming through the fire and all that it was great. I thought it was well done. I like that there was added frustration where like, what would happen if a chase scene happened on a highway you're going through traffic? There was a legit spot where they were like, shit, I need to get at him, but there's stuff in the way. And it leads to the pile up that gets to that really cool shot. And it didn't just magically, they were by themselves for 5 miles. Then they found vehicles just to do the jump. I like that was an extra added detail that they were dealing with it the whole time. But yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot, but I do not disagree with when you said that it could have been a very cool version of that where it was just one of the lock perspectives. I do like that, actually. I like it a lot.
Yeah,
I
like
just a little bit more clear on the geography. That's really all I needed from it. I love the car. I love it. It is a great muscle car. It reminds me of the Lincoln Futura Batmobile from the '60s show. It's just super good.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like what Brock said. I was even like playing the scene in my head, like just from Penguin's point of view, and as awesome as that would have been, what I love about the scene as it is the messiness of it. It's not a clean, crisp car chase like something you'd see in the Fast and the Furious. Instead, it does have like an element
Kind of
of
mixes
chaos.
that with the grittiness of the Batman. I would kind of disagree with that, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a bit of messiness with like, you know, like the all of that traffic and how like the different perspectives are kind of like shifting every now and then between the Penguin and I don't even think we see Bruce at all in the chase. I think it's just the Batmobile from the back.
Yeah.
But just this like the way that was all staged, and of course that final shot was just amazing.
A genuinely iconic image.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
people throw
yeah.
the word
iconic.
iconic.
I love that.
Yeah, people throw that word iconic around a lot for
Way
a
too
lot of
much.
things. And I think that's a genuinely iconic image. It's really good.
Yeah.
Iconic.
The other action
approves.
scenes we have to talk about are both fight scenes in the Iceberg Lounge. I was joking with Brock earlier because of like because of all like the various uses of lighting that like I think Greg Fraser's favorite color is red, but I'm not sure.
I think it might be. There's a high possibility that Red was a big fan of this film.
Who's Red?
Red. Sorry.
Who?
No, that's the color red. They were just a big fan of the color red.
Oh, red. Oh,
Yes.
God. I'm sorry. I'm really stupid.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
it's all good. It's all good. But just, yeah, like those fight
I'm
scenes.
losing brain consciousness right now.
Yeah. That's one of those things where it's like you had the detective work in this movie, you had a relationship with Selena, and then like you also had non-shaky cam, not a lot of cutaways, like solid actually looking at fight scenes. And where it was kind of like how Ridley Scott does stuff where he shoots the scene but has 18 billion cameras so we can get it from every single angle. And like just go it like a little bit of what CJ said earlier. I felt like I was watching someone playing an Arkham game, like going through the steps with everyone coming at it, hitting counters and going like just goes through taking weapons away from people, batting them, throwing the pipe at someone who's about to shoot him and hitting the bullet and then cracking them in the head. I'm like, I'm watching a person who is not quite polished in what they do, but clearly knows what they're doing. And like watching him shoot the grappling hook through a person's leg and then pull them into a railing.
I felt that.
That was great. It was good. It was really good.
Those action sequences are really cool because they're so brawly. I was born in 1993, so my entire life has been like completely filled with action heroes that incidentally know kung fu. And I know that Batman has been retconned a bunch of different times to be a ninja and have that kind of background and stuff like that. But like sometimes you just want to see him throw haymakers, and that is the best part of the way he moves in this.
Yeah.
Pattinson really, like, you know that all of that stuff on him, there's like padding and it's probably heavy in some way, but it's probably not as heavy as like the in-universe version of that suit is, but he really sells how heavy it is with like every punch he throws. One thing about the Arkham games is like that Batman is this like steroid monster with traps up to his earlobes and like these basketballs on his shoulders, but he like moves like he's Jet Li.
Like, yep, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
And I like that the movie does not allow for that. Like there is space, unlike in the car chase. For me, there is like a real sense of like geography and spatial awareness to the hand-to-hand combat in this that I really enjoy. So yeah,
something else I like, and I kind of mentioned this earlier, is the lighting, especially in the second hallway scene, the one we see in the second trailer, where the strobe light effect, and Batman is like beating down like bodies in that hallway. It's almost like the way those shots are lit kind of replaces the use of jump cuts that we've seen in like the early 2000s. And this is just kind of how I prefer to see my action sequences from now on. Be more creative. If you're not going to like put too much focus on the choreography, at least experiment with the lighting.
Yeah, and it's like the Batman scenes. Like one of my favorite quotes that I heard someone describe Batman, Spider-Man, and to a degree Daredevil, is that they are not going to kill you. Your hospital bills are. And I like a crunchy is the best word that I can kind of describe the fight scenes with Batman that I like to see. Like, but blowing your kneecap out and then punching you into the ground, stuff like that. Like the warehouse fight in BVS.
Yes.
Like a lot of that stuff where he's haymakering someone clean to the ground. I liked some of those shots every now and then. It doesn't need to be every one, but like showing that this guy, he's not going to kill you. He's going to make you wish he did, and you're not going to try messing with him again in the future. Like those kind of lessons. Like later on shots where you're like, oh, I guess that broke his nose. Like he didn't know what happened. He just remembered he decked that guy and he wasn't remembering how bad the damage was. It's like this little messages like that.
I think that since we're back in the Iceberg Lounge, which again, like my favorite thing about this movie is that they call it the Iceberg Lounge. This isn't an action thing, but it does go to why the Iceberg Lounge was such a cool location in the movie, because that lighting and that sort of strobing that the lighting is doing and bouncing off of the club during the fight, it really works in there, but it also really works when they're doing like the stealthy undercover stuff, when like Selena has to go in and go to the 44 Below club. There's this shot right before she gets to that really cool elevator where she's like just walking past this catwalk, and she's got like this great synthetic like run Lola run wig on, and you've seen my tweets, Mike. You know how I feel about wigs in movies. It was a really good,
of course.
And
oh, you are well fed in this movie.
Absolutely.
Man. So good, and it's not. And sometimes it depends on what the wig is for. If the wig is supposed to be a representation of someone's real hair, and it's off, that pisses me off. But if the wig is supposed to be a disguise, if it looks badass and it looks cool and it adds to the sort of noirish element of this movie, everyone was just like, oh, it's noir, it's like this. And I was kind of like, okay. Before I saw the movie, I was just like, oh, it's Batman. It's a fucking Maltese Falcon. Calm down. But like I go in there and like it manages to like create a language of a bit of visual language in this film that like marries what we know about sort of the way that women are portrayed in those sort of old noir mystery films and stuff like that, and marry it with the production design of this movie in a way that it's really cool and sleek and modern, and I really love that scene. Sorry about the wig tangent, but
that's fine.
It's specific thing, mans. I get you. It's all good.
Yeah, totally.
You know,
I mean, the action scenes for me were fantastic. I thought they were really good. They were well put together. I really liked them. And also, I mean, again, also helped that I actually really like loved this Batman, because again, I feel like I connected with them more than the other Batmans. I know it's going to be a hot take, but it's the truth for me. But yeah, like how much more stuff are we going to talk about exactly? I'm just curious.
There's two more things I need to bring up. One is the actual reveal about the Waynes and about kind of how they tie into the history of Gotham and a specific piece of history, the renewal program, which kind of results into Gotham pretty much devolving into shit. So as Brock kind of alluded to earlier, one thing that's quite a deviation from the source material is Martha Wayne's maiden name, which is implied at least to be Arkham.
No, they
straight out say it.
And that
Thomas Wayne said Martha's family,
which is
Arkham.
which is a Jeff Johns Earth One development.
I thought so. But yeah, it is a very interesting reveal, but the reason why I like this compared to every other time we've seen the Waynes in Batman media is that they're not really characters outside of Popcorn and Pearls.
Yep.
But this is like the first time in live action that like they actually are woven into the tapestry that is Gotham City.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like that was actually probably the weakest part of me. I feel like the reveal was kind of weak sauce to me. I thought we were gonna reveal like, oh, this Thomas Wayne, he was like a thug. He literally was like awful to people. You know, like I wanted them to go a little bit more further.
I agree.
Yeah. Hey,
I agree. I thought that the reveal might have been a bit more
darker,
substantial in the way, not even darker, but the idea, and I get that it was just sort of a little weak sauce because I think a reveal that sort of like completely disillusions Batman from his parents or whatever would be a little bit of a step too far. But like the idea, if he happened to also be sort of like the go-to doctor for the Gotham mob or something like that, it just seemed like this was sort of like a last-ditch misunderstanding or desperate thing that like anybody could understand, and it still seemed like it was in service of protecting the Waynes as like Bruce's sacred cow are the reasons that he does what he does. I just think that it could have gone a little bit further, and it also brings me back to why like it feels like maybe the villain should have been Hush. But but either way, I think that I didn't mind it. I didn't outrightly dislike it. I just thought that it would have gone a little bit further the way that it was being hyped up by the second act.
Right. I think I get what you're trying to say. Brock, your thoughts on the Wayne reveal?
I liked it a lot, and I think why they didn't make a big grandstanding out of it because it was a reveal that was leading into a plot point with Maroni, and it wasn't the biggest plot point of the movie. I mean Falcone, I'm sorry. In my opinion, anyway, they were like, okay, this is something I need to discuss with someone, and it will be a plot point with you, but something bigger in a later movie that people should keep track of. That's how it was presented to me. That's why I don't think they went out of their way to make it the biggest bombastic moment of the whole movie, because that's a small detail that can later on be a big thing depending on how they go into things, because they're also making an Arkham miniseries from what I saw in an announcement. So
and this is what I was talking about earlier when I said that what Matt Reeves is doing is he's planting like all these different seeds, but he's not going, look at me, this is going to matter later. He's just kind of being like, here it is.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where, again, that I really liked about this movie is they're talking to you like a person who in a Batman movie would talk about things that are in a Batman movie. They're not an executive going, hey, kids, do you remember Arkham Asylum? It's not one of those type of things. They didn't go out of their way to overexpose something that two characters talking to each other wouldn't have to over-explain in a conversation. And that's one thing that I really like about this movie. It never has those moments where, like, Iceberg Lounge. No, we just went there. We didn't have a 20-minute exposition about how it's the most seediest place. No, we just went there. because it was a thing that exists and we just accepted that it exists. But like, that's going to be a big thing that's bigger later. And if they would have made a bigger deal out of it, in my opinion, it would have took away from other things that were going on in a movie that was already 3 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I was very okay with the little bit of presence that it got. And also, it was a not big deal that turned into a big deal because someone screwed over Thomas Wayne because of it. So they made the bigger deal out of him being screwed over because of it versus the revelation.
Right.
That, to me, is why I was okay with how it was being handled. I can 1,000% see why other people were like, that is what it is, and it's whatever. Everything is completely subjective. It is what it is. You know.
Now a question for CJ, because you did kind of mention at the start of the podcast that you were kind of feeling the length. So I have to ask, what does a 2 hour and 15 minute version of this movie look like? I know that's a very specific.
I don't know. I can tell you straight up.
I was going to say, I'm interested to hear this.
I was like, I don't know, but it's not that I was like thinking, oh, we need to do this, we don't need to do that, that shouldn't be here or whatever. It was just that there is almost 4 acts to this movie. And I just around that 3rd act, I was kind of like, okay. And the thing that really frustrates me is that 3rd act slows down, and then we have the 4th act that, like, most of that last scene in the arena is what I'm talking about there, has to like stop the momentum of the story dead in its tracks to be a superhero movie.
I think I know the moment that you're talking about.
Where like, because when I say that is that like superhero movies modern superhero movies especially tend to devolve into this thing where the hero has to fight a bunch of faceless representatives of the main villain. And that thing happened here. And when it happened, I was like, oh, this is cool. I like the combat. Like I was saying, I liked it a little bit less because I don't think that the way that scene is lit is as affecting as the way that the hand-to-hand combat was portrayed in the Iceberg Lounge, just because of the lighting and the way how cool that setting looked. Sure. But I still think that the choreography was cool. I understood what they were going for. It's just that, like, when I'm already feeling the length of the movie and then the movie takes a detour into just what to me seems like pretty rote superhero stuff.
It's kind of like this is the scrappier version of, you know,
any
Avengers.
Given Marvel fight. Yeah,
exactly. This is like the half-priced version.
But they ended it strong with like him sort of having to go berserker mode after like plunging an EpiPen into himself. Like I dug that and stuff as a bookend, and like true development for his character gives us a really good tee up for, you know, it gives us a really good shortcut to the point that the narration is trying to make at the end of the movie that is going to tee us up for more of this Batman. But just that, like, everything, it kind of just, it felt like it just slowed down. It was kind of like, ugh. And I wasn't disliking anything. I wasn't like not enjoying myself. It's just that it kind of like, there was a real sort of sense of propulsion in those first 2 acts. that I do not think is there in the third act into, well, the larger third act, but in my opinion, the third act into the fourth act.
Right. That makes sense. Where was I gonna go next? All right. How about just thoughts on the ending, and then I have my 5 ideas that I want for the future. But Brock, your thoughts on the, I guess, 3rd/4th act?
I generally liked it. I can feel where I was like, there was points toward the end of it where I'm like, yep, okay. I don't know what else you're gonna do, but I'm here for it. I'm like, kind of like, there's something after the Riddler. I was like, there's got to be some kind of whatever, like the Kaiser Soze moment, and then there was more after it, and which I was fine with, because I liked the idea of like the whole followers thing, because it kind of fed off what that secret videotape was, where you thought it was going to be him revealing who Bruce Wayne was. And one of my favorite scenes in that whole movie is when he's talking to him, keeps saying Bruce Wayne, and like the music cues before you realize, and he has a sigh of relief that the Riddler does not actually know who he is, and that's saying that that's who the target is. I like that a lot. I like him trying to prove that he's better and stuff like that. They always get into that. I didn't mind the fight scene, stuff like that. It wasn't as glamorous or as like chunky as the rest of them were, so there's that. I do appreciate him being knocked back by a point blank double barrel shotgun blast where he needed to get rescued. I was like, you actually see him like get winded once and prove that he's not perfect. I did like that. And like, it very much sets up what I hope to see in that sequel, which, oh boy, I didn't expect them to possibly try in the second movie of a set of Batman movies.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. And having Selina come back, that was good. I thought it was well done. I get that. And you had a little bit of battle of wits where the Riddler got to have his moment where he's like, wow, you're not as smart as where I thought you were. And then I'm like, what does he mean by, oh yeah, he literally did say my confession with the freaking floor tool. I was like, that was actually a really nice touch where you got to have the Riddler was smarter than him for a moment thing. I was like, oh, okay. And then you get to see a bit of the obsessive compulsiveness with the Riddler that I like to see with him ever since the Batman animated series, where they kind of based how they acted off of mental disorders a little, when he starts freaking out that it's not going the way he had planned for months. And I'm like, okay, I'm glad this part of him's finally coming out, because I was waiting for this. But yeah, I there was definitely some moments where it probably could have been paced a little bit better, and some parts could have been written good. But I'm always a sucker for, I had a surrogate dad for 16 years of my life, and it's why I have the last name that I have now. I changed it. So I'm a very big fan of like the helping the kid who needs it. And I'm always there for a Batman immediately going for, again, the mayor's kid off of everyone else. And then he focuses on getting everyone else out of there. Like, that kid was the first one to trust him. I thought that was a really nice touch. And yeah, there was just some, very much get where it's a random, I need to take care of the thugs type of thing. I very much get that complaint, and I'm not going to deny that whatsoever, because there was a little bit of that there. But yeah, it gives a good hope for stuff. And I like, you just see him looking like a grimy pile of crap going, yeah, I need to do better. I need to change tact a little bit. I like that.
And everything after that scene that I was talking about, I was very into it. Just in terms of the imagery, in terms of thematically what it means, not only for him, but for the city to be able to trust him. Because I think that some of the most tedious stuff in Batman stuff is the back and forth about whether or not, people trust Batman or whatever. Just like, we can just do away with that. And I really loved that image of him with the flare leading them out of the arena. I'm super excited for the spin-off HBO Max series where all of the people have to go get new booster shots from walking in that fucking floodwater.
That's cool.
Literally, I was just like, oh, what a great image. And then like I just hit like it hit me while I was in the theater. I was like, oh god, they're not
I'm
supposed
so
to do
excited
that.
for that Penguin spin-off series and the Gotham PD series. Like, I just want more of this fucking world. That's all I want of it.
Yep.
I could give less of a shit about Black Adam. I mean, Aquaman 2 is gonna be fine. The Flash might be awesome, might be a unmitigated disaster. I'm not here to judge, but you know,
How they handle it's either going to be very good or very bad. I don't have a feeling there'd be a middle ground because of how they handle the time travel. That's the one big factor to me.
Yeah, that's like pretty much top priority.
Yeah.
But Henry, your thoughts before we get into the future talk. Your just thoughts on the last act.
The last act, I mean, it kind of had some of the issues of like modern super movies, but honestly, I was so invested in the fucking world that I didn't really care. It's just whatever, just you know, whatever. I just really liked it. It was still pretty fun, you know, even though actually one of the things I did like about it is that the Batman doesn't truly win at the end. Like, you know, like, yeah, he may have like solved the crime, but like the city's like in a new like state of peril. Like he's like the city's flooded. It's all, you know, it's been washed away. It's like a new playing field, and it's gonna be nomad's land for Batman. I'm excited for that.
So yeah, just my final thoughts on the third act are, it's good, but it's not quite as strong as the first two acts. And as far as like the fight scenes go, I definitely think my favorite of the hand-to-hand combat scenes all take place in the Iceberg Lounge. But what saves the stadium stuff is the end where you see Batman with the flare, kind of guiding his people to safety.
That was great.
I literally fainted after that scene. I'm not gonna say come because you know, there were children in the theater. I don't want to be inappropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
It was great.
But since we're already kind of talking about the future, these are my kind of 5 general ideas that I want to see in the future. This isn't like specific to one sequel or one spin-off. Number 1 is No Man's Land.
Yes.
Like No Man's Land is something they're already teeing up, and they can do it in 2 different ways. For the Penguin spin-off, you can basically adapt a lot of like the Penguin-centric moments from the comics and just kind of tell the story of how Oswald Cobblepot kind of rises to power. And I'm pretty sure that's exactly what the synopsis for that read.
The Penguin and then be that way.
Yeah, and then in the Gotham Central series, that can be just a story of Gotham's recovery and Mayor Raelle actually like sticking to her word and rebuilding Gotham to its former glory.
Yeah, I really hope that she plays a larger role in that series.
Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
My number 2 is give me the weirder Batman villains. Like,
yes,
go all in on
Calendar Man, setting up clues for Gotham.
Yeah,
I want Mad Hatter so bad.
Calendar Man, Mad Hatter,
Professor Pig, baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Professor Pig is he a pig in the comics?
No, he
just has a pig mask and he's a weirdo.
Dollmaker, the one that I want, specifically because Matt Reeves is like the guy, Clayface, because I know because of Planet of the Apes, he can really do the performance capture.
Would you want Basil Carlo?
That's like it's either him or the other guy. There's like 5 different.
Yeah, I know. He's just amazing. Yeah,
but so many Clay's traits.
if it's gonna be anyone, like it's probably gonna be Basil Carlo.
Yeah.
I'm not picky. And then of course Mr. Freeze, because if anyone is going to redeem that character just from a live action standpoint, it's gonna be Matt Reeves.
Mhm.
And I already have like fan casting ideas for him specifically. The one that I've always wanted is John Lithgow.
Wow, yeah, that would be
Okay.
inspired. I could see that.
I would be a little bit weirded out by the Clayface one, but hey, Matt Reeves could do it. I trust him.
My number 3, which we kind of talked about earlier, is Catwoman getting her own spin-off.
Yes.
It can be just like 6 episodes and either a straight adaptation of When in Rome, or just like, I don't know, some sort of follow-up to kind of the aftermath of what happened in this movie. Now that Carmine Falcone is dead, we will hope maybe this is how we introduce the rest of the family, specifically and I keep forgetting her name, Carmine's daughter, the one who in Dark Victory gets like disabled.
Yeah.
Let me look up her name now.
I would say I would be a little bit doubtful of like them exploring the Bat family in this series, mainly because like
Sophia.
the main DCEU is
Oh,
gonna
Sophia,
like,
there we go.
it's gonna like be exploring like tons of these. Like you're gonna get a Nightwing set up in Batgirl, you're gonna get Batgirl, and you got Keaton's Batman. I think you're gonna get the Bat family in the main DCEU, and you'll probably maybe get a Robin, in this one. I don't know.
Well, that's my point number 4 is if Matt Reeves is going through the trouble of building a Gotham universe, then you can only go so long. Like you can only avoid the Bat family for so long. And I know CJ and I have talked about this in the past on Twitter, that, to put it bluntly, Batman needs a Robin.
Yeah, there's no point to Batman movies without Robin anymore, in my opinion. And also this movie goes so far out of its way to like really, especially in the eyes of people who might think that the more sillier aspects of Batman are too silly for the movies. This movie goes out of its way to legitimize so much of that kind of stuff. Then go full hog. Give me a Robin. Make him like 10 to 12 years old. And
that is.
and
I don't know.
justify it.
I'm kind of freaked out by
And
that.
justify it.
17-year-old.
And justify it, because like that, like, and they teed themselves up for it. No, I'm so like we've had jail bait Robin and freaking Bat in the Schumacher movies. That's fine, and they're good. I like Chris O'Donnell in those movies. It's whatever.
Oh yeah, he is.
But
He is a good piece of meat.
But like, no, like this movie, and people are out here calling it the definitive Batman. It very much has the potential to be that. This movie is the first like the first like post Schumacher Batman live action Batman film to look Batman as a cultural concept straight in the eye, accept it as it is, and take it seriously. Do it for everything.
And to add to your point, and something I brought up earlier is, this may be a Batman who is like kind of very DIY, but something that I really love about his approach to crime fighting in this movie is he is very open to collaboration, not just with Gordon, but with Selina.
Mm-hmm.
Even like directly using her as like, as she calls it, a fish on a hook. But
Yeah.
they're still working together. They're still collaborating.
Mm-hmm.
So this
in the middle, little parts of that, and in between,
This is a version of Batman who is willing to work with a Robin.
Yeah. I would be
I
really
just
freaked out though if it was like a 12-year-old. I'd be like, whoa,
If
yeah.
they're going to do it, I would like the version of the Tim Drake who figures it out and then goes to him about it. I would like something like that.
So you want to maybe skip Dick and Jason and go
Well,
right to Tim?
I wouldn't kind of even mind if they kind of just hobble-podged some traits of. I don't exactly know how to say it.
That's a great word. I'm gonna use it.
Yeah, like where they kind of like make it Dick Grayson, but they kind of do it in a way to where they make it work. Whichever Robin they choose, they kind of mash it, like I said, hobble-podge it into a Robin to make it work so he has one.
Well,
And
one of the
like kind of ways.
Sorry.
No, that's it. That's all I really had. Just make it work in a way to where he has the traits of the Robins you like, but it is where the Robin goes to him versus the him going to the Robin kind of thing.
The wonderful thing of this movie, one of the wonderful things that this movie does, I think this movie does a lot of wonderful things. One of the wonderful things that this movie does is that it sort of I keep doing this, I'm so sorry. It reminds me of Batman Forever, in that Batman Forever ends with like Bruce discovering or sort of coming to terms with his parents' murder and realizing that like that is not the sort of like thematic propulsion of his life anymore. It's not because of that, it's because it's something that he feels he has to do, divorced from that. And I think this movie also plays with those same kinds of themes, because towards the beginning of the film, he's like, it's about the fear, it's about the vengeance, about all that kind of stuff. And then he realizes that's being reflected back at him by all the stuff that the Riddler was doing and all of the people that the Riddler was inspiring. And so he's like, I have to do better. I have to be different. That is the same kind of arc to me. And I think that introducing Dick Grayson, especially with Dick Grayson losing his parents, much like Bruce does, narratively, I think that gives you a lot of opportunity for Bruce to actually have to practice what he's preaching in the narration at the end of this movie and really dig down and find a way to try and pull this young kid out of that so that he doesn't become obsessed with it the way that he did.
And that is a great story for like a direct sequel, which again just goes back to my point. Batman needs a Robin.
I would appreciate if they take an entire movie of figuring out that the Robin would be capable, but he does not become a Robin for like a movie and a half.
That's fine. I don't mind waiting. I don't mind like having to earn the Robin, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I get it.
But I want the Robin on the board.
Yes.
Yep.
And for my point number 5, is the Court of Owls. I divorced this point from my number 2, which was bring in just the Rogues Gallery, because the Court of Owls is something. It's big. It's something that I don't think you should do right away, but I also think you don't have to wait too long either. Like, yes, the reason why that story is as effective as it was is because it builds upon what you already know about Gotham, about the Waynes, about Batman himself. But that story came out the same year as the New 52, where all of DC's books were being rebooted. So it kind of exists in a weird place. But cinematically, I think Matt Reeves is the perfect director to just do that story. Under one condition. It obviously can't be right away, but I'm thinking it's either the plot of the third movie or it's like kind of the start of a new chapter.
I could see that because I don't think he's going to do anything too big soon. Because the only thing we kind of didn't talk about from the movie is a direct quote where I had to look up who an actor was, and
we'll get to that.
Where he quote unquote says this movie was not a Batman origin movie. This movie was a Rogues Gallery origin movie.
Yeah.
Which I think is a really cool idea. We don't need a Batman origin movie. For crying out loud, we never need it again.
Exactly.
I really. Oh well, I'll let you tee up that conversation. Sorry.
Well, actually, what I was going to ask you is, first of all, I want your general thoughts on the Court of Owls story, but I was also going to ask you, are there any what was I going to say? Are there any other major Batman stories that you think Reeves is best equipped to tackle?
Best equipped? I don't know. I think that he was suitably equipped for this story. But I'm interested in seeing where he takes it. I think that with Court of Owls, I like Court of Owls. I've never been sort of like over the moon about it the way other people are. Scott Snyder's not my personal favorite Batman writer, but I don't know. I don't really have any Batman stories that I want to be adapted directly, just because I like the surprise. I like to go there and be like, hey, this is how we're mixing and matching things. But I would love to see I guess the end of this movie kind of takes a bit of like like the setup of from what is it, Zero Hour? Is that the one where there was the flood?
Well, there's 0 Hour, but there's also No Man's Land too, where Gotham is pretty much like a quarantine zone. Yeah.
But there are characters I'd like to see. I'd like to see there seems to be an express effort to make this Batman a lot more psychological. I'd like to see Hugo Strange and Leslie Thompson and tertiary characters come in and out of frame. Like I said, I desperately want Robin. And you know what? She didn't make much of an impression, but bring Dory back. She can help.
Yeah, I like Dory.
She can help, and her name should be Harriet, but like she's fine. I got one. I got a comic thing. Is it supposed to be like super comics accurate? It should be all the comics accurate. The webtoon, Batman Family Adventures. We want chocolate chip cookies in the next one.
Yes. Yes, give us the chocolate chip cookies.
But no, yeah, I'm just sort of excited to where it's going to go, with the exception of Barry Keoghan. I like Barry Keoghan too. That's the thing. And I heard the rumor that he would be in this and that he would be playing that character. And I was like, anybody
actually see him before that. During the funeral scene, like as Bruce is pulling into the church, we see like this guy
mm-hmm.
Who looks like Barry Keoghan at the very least, but like we see him, I guess, kind of as like a valet or something. So he does make like a brief appearance before that tease.
We're spoiling things, right? We can just say
yes.
The Joker. Okay, so yeah, I would. I really like Barry Keoghan. I think he's such a compelling presence. I'm just so goddamn tired of the Joker. I wish he was playing. I would rather him be playing Condiment King. than the fucking Joker at this point. But like, we're here. That's happening. Okay, I'm a support him. That's my man. I'm a stick.
That
See,
was that was
it's like, no, damn it, why do you keep doing this to me? Why?
that was one part of, but that quote that Mike silenced me on is Matt Reeves' exact thing, because I had to look up who that was because I had no idea. Is that he is playing the Joker, but he is a character who has yet to actually become the Joker.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
God,
So
do we need
yeah,
more
great.
Joker? Who cares?
Here's what I'm hoping for. You know how in the Dark Knight trilogy, Cillian Murphy plays Jonathan Crane, and like the Scarecrow is like one of the main villains in Batman Begins, but
Mhm.
in the other two movies, he's still yeah, he's still around. He's still like there. I'm kind of hoping that Reeves like takes that approach with the Joker, but in reverse, where he's peppered in to the films, but he's kept in the back pocket until like a few chapters later, and then he's ready to come back.
I just want a better Batmobile chase with the same car. Don't change the car.
No, don't change the car. The car is perfect.
The car is great. And I'm interested to see sort of what the new suit looks like, and just in like a sort of evolution and how to like crush those blacks a little bit better. And like, I don't mind the movie being dark, but I just want to see more of what's going on. And I think that I think there's a happy medium between that and creating the atmosphere that they want.
Yeah, I was gonna say like there might be like like a happy medium between what we see in the Batman versus the Gotham as depicted in Birds of Prey. Something kind of like a combination of the two would be really cool.
And it doesn't have to be like a slam to that. I think that there is a way that you can just because again, Batman is new, all these villains are new. The fact that Gotham is like a place where all this kind of stuff can happen is they're growing. All this, the Rogues Gallery and his colleagues are growing alongside Batman. I think that there is a way to gradually make Gotham a grimier and more bizarre place.
Oh yeah.
So,
and they play with lighting effects too. Like the most lit shot in that entire movie is when Bruce has his revelation about I have to not be how I was, and then it's the most well lit thing. If they have more moments like that, I would kind of like to see more things like that where they actually play with time of day versus revelations and stuff. Cool stuff like that could be in there. Yeah. I was talking with Mike earlier about like he mentioned like the weird like and when we were reviewing it on my channel, the weirdest thing that we'd like to see. And I mentioned the Lewis C. Carroll, not Lewis C. Carroll, good Lord, Lewis Carroll, obsessed dude that like is looking for his Alice. I think that'd be one that'd be really bordering it. But if you're going to do one that requires CG, my God, I would love to see the version of what Matt Reeves does to make Kirk Langstrom turn into Man-Bat. Watching that thing skulk around this version of Gotham City, I think would be some of the coolest shit I've ever seen on screen.
Oh yeah, I'm playing like that scene in my head right now, and yeah, I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah, I'm okay with them doing all sorts of goofy, random, like Professor Pig making his Dolatrons and stuff like that. All that different random stuff, I'm okay with it. Just if we're going to do one that's just, we're going to throw one of the weird ones at the wall that would be really out there. I kind of would like Man-Bat because he's kind of the most underused one in my opinion. He's a weirdo, like a real weirdo, but we'll see. And like you said, I would just like, one thing that like I always had the problem with, like with Fox, they had the X-Men. For crying out loud, if they didn't have their heads up their own asses about some things, they could have made an entire cinematic universe just out of X-Men movies. And
Oh, come
they're
on.
going-
We had a Starjammers movie and everything.
I'm like, but with Batman, again, if you play your cards right, you can do a shit ton of stuff with just Batman characters. So about the whole let's reunite everything, I would be very okay for a long time if Batman just stayed at the neighbor's house. I'd be okay with that.
I
know that's not going to happen, but
I am super disinterested. Not disinterested. Like I'll take it if it comes, but I'm not clamoring for everything to be connected again.
Yeah, like do
I
something different
really
for
like
DC.
this
Make your
Buckshot
own little
approach.
worlds.
I like Peacemaker. I like all that stuff. I even like Wonder Woman 1984. I like all of these different little pockets of DC where everybody can have a taste of whatever they like. Give me an I'm a DC. I'm not a Batman person. I'm a DC Comics person. Give it all to me. Give me Dial H for Hero. Give me fucking Detective Chimp. Oh my god. Give me Streaky the Super Cat. Warner Brothers.
What are you talking about? What is this nonsense?
Warner
Wait,
Brothers.
Can we have Snowflame, please?
Oh
Warner
my God,
Brothers.
Snowflame!
If you're listening, Warner Brothers, you give me a week with a controlled substance of my choice and a change of drug. I could bust you out a Streaky the Super Cat movie like that.
But just to spring off what you said earlier about all these different pockets of DC, if anything, that approach feels more like DC Comics on the page, than like the MCU, because even like these all can even exist in the same universe, but like
Agreed.
but like
Just
when
out
you're
there.
reading different comics by different creative teams, even if they like, even if editorial says they exist in the same universe, the writers are like, no,
No, we don't.
yeah, sure, but this is my story.
Yep.
That's the approach I kind of want for DC movies moving forward. Like,
Sort of like the
tell
Fox stuff, right?
tell your story.
Yeah, it'd be like have one company do it. Like it's exactly. You could each have your own things. If you want to have something super connected, Marvel has their stuff figured out for eons. DC, in my opinion, would actually be kind of smart to just go, remember the mid 90s or early 2000s when they were good, where we had that hero's story and we just did a bunch of stuff with that person and they got to live in their own little world. I kind of miss that a lot, man.
Yeah, but that should be like for DC. I feel
That's
I feel
exactly.
Like
I'd be very okay with that.
And that doesn't mean we can't have crossover films. Like Black Adam is quietly turning into a Justice Society movie.
Yeah, not even quietly anymore. They're pretty loud about it.
It just is Justice Society.
Yeah,
but like
I feel like that movie's just gonna be okay. Because I'm not a big fan of the director behind it.
I just want to see it for the Justice Society because I'm a big fan of that team.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Also, what a casting coup.
Okay,
Seriously.
I lost my shit when they're like, Dr. Fate's going to be played by Pierce Brosnan. I'm like, one more time? How perfect is that? Oh.
So, yeah.
Still my heart. Oh,
sorry, didn't mean to distract you again, Mike.
That's all good.
Sorry.
So we're almost approaching 2.5 hours. So
I knew it was going to be long.
Yeah, we were prepared for this. Henry, I'll start with you. Your just final thoughts on the Batman.
Okay, I'm going to say this again. I really love this movie. Again, I'm more of a Marvel guy. Like, to say this movie is fantastic is a big leap there. I just want to know more about this world. I want to see. I know it's not going to happen, but I want to see this world's Superman, Wonder Woman, more of the Batman stuff there. I just want it to be. I just want to focus on this world. I know, hot take, but I love this universe. I'm so excited to see what Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves do for the next couple of movies, and I'm excited for the Penguin show and the fucking PD show. I'm really excited, man.
Hell yeah. CJ, your thoughts?
Like I said, I had my qualms, but overall, I really enjoy it. I think I'm very excited to see it again tomorrow. I think that most of the performances are great. I think from a production design standpoint, top to bottom, it's good, and it's really of a piece with these other recent DC movies like Aquaman, like Wonder Woman 1984, that are kind of mood boards for these characters. And that's totally what I love to see. So I'm thumbs up from Old Siege.
Brock?
CJ approves.
I loved it.
Guaranteed.
This is the best version of Gotham ever. I legit felt like I was in Gotham City for a lot of this. Like I said, the atmosphere work. It's my favorite Batman movie ever by a long shot. All of it felt like they had nailed what, in my opinion, Batman should feel like. Just, I want a little bit more of that. Don't be afraid to experiment with lore a little, like the Arkham stuff, where it's not a huge thing, but bring it out into light that not a lot of people have heard of. And then, like, if you want to introduce some stuff out of order, be like, throw my girl Huntress in there. Do some stuff like that. Bring in Cassandra Cain before maybe some other people if you want to do some cool moves. Don't be afraid to play with the sandbox a little. I'm one of those people that likes to see cool stuff brought out the way it is, but I'm not going to be upset if you do it in an honestly well-written way to break off canon a little. I would not be upset. As long as you're committed and you got a good story, you can experiment. Because I won't see it coming, and I'll be excited about that.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah.
This is the last time I'm going to make this comparison, but the Batman is a Batman sausage, and that's like the highest compliment I can give. Everything that has come before, Matt Reeves has taken all those elements, wrapped it in a casing of his own sensibilities, and made like probably the most compelling version of the character. I don't know if I'm ready to call this my favorite Batman movie ever, but it's hard to argue against this being like the best singular adaptation of the character of Gotham, of just the experience of Batman from the pages of the comics. And I hope to see many more movies with Pattinson, with Reeves behind the camera, and I'm very much looking forward to whatever is built from this foundation.
Yes. Give me that.
Oh, yeah.
And on that note, that brings this episode to a close. This was a lot of fun. I hope we get to do this more often.
Oh,
Before we get out of here, Henry, where can everyone find you online?
Well, I'm the non-Kino Cinephile on Twitter. I'm writing for Geeks Worldwide, and I'm going to be releasing my first few articles this month and also my 6th short film. So it's going to be a busy month for the Cinephile.
Nice.
Nice.
Awesome.
You know what? You got to hustle, man, because
I don't doubt it.
And CJ, where can everyone find you?
I'm at CJ period. That's CEEJAY and the word period. I'm assuming you know how to spell it on Twitter and and Instagram. I also have a newsletter that I send out sometimes called Monoplex.
Send me this now. I demand
the
it.
If you want a little bit more insight to how I feel about car chases in movies, I have an essay over there called Road Warrior.
Nice.
And that's really fun. I used to host a podcast called Below Freezing with CJ and Micah, where we unthawed different movies that came in at or below 32% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Is this the mic I'm thinking of?
Probably not if you don't live in Kansas City.
Okay, no, I just that you're friends with Mike and we've rolled in the same film group. So
No.
Okay,
Oh,
got
yeah.
it.
Mike?
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that podcast is still available if you want to listen to those episodes. There's 3 seasons of it. That is about it for me.
All right, Brock, where can everyone find you?
Basically everywhere at Organoid Zero, just mostly on Twitch.
Everywhere and nowhere.
Everywhere, exactly. And on YouTube, mostly where I do a crap load of work with Mike and anyone who is kind enough to do guest spots. It's mostly review work, fresh takes, where you just go back, look at anything. We're currently uploading Neon Genesis Evangelion, but we're working on another one that I'm quite excited about. So, yeah.
Hell yeah. You guys can find me on Twitter at Captain K42. You can check out all my quick thoughts on letterbox.com/CoachK42. And you can find me in all the various Facebook groups just at my name. You can check out Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and Twitter at Ren Pop Culture. You can also find us on Podchaser and on the Banana Meter. You can listen to all of our podcasts on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. Need an escape? So do we. That'll do it for this episode of Renegade Capes. We will catch you guys later. Peace out.